Sarah, this is a really important time in UN Women's calendar with women and girls from all over the world converged on UN headquarters in New York. Can you describe the mood, the atmosphere, and just what you've seen?
You know, Elaine, it's great to be here. The mood over these past 2 weeks has been absolutely riveting. There are quite literally thousands upon thousands of activists, feminists, government leaders, civil society organizers, private sector leaders, UN system leaders, all whom have been gathered with one main goal. How can we make the world better for women and girls? They've been here to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. And for those who don't know what that was made 30 years ago in 1995 as the most progressive, historic, and bold framework for gender equality and women's rights right around the world.
If you can share with us some of the progress that has been made in the 30 years and really what you'll look toward in the future.
So, what we see over these past 30 years is that the world is actually more equal for women and girls than it has been at any other point in history. There are now more girls who've completed education than any other time in the world's history. There are increasingly lower maternal mortality rates. There are laws to prevent violence. Women have risen up to kind of grab hold and harness their power and have taken on new roles in the workplace and have broken barriers at home, at work, in society, in their lives in so many ways. But there's always a but and yet. What we do know is that this progress has been too slow. It's been far too uneven. It's been far too fragile. And frankly, and probably most importantly, it can't be counted on. We do see that progress that seemed like it was always going in an upward trajectory, now we see that there is pushback, regression, and changes in direction. For example, a woman every 10 minutes loses her life by femicide to someone in her own family. We also see that the labor force participation rate has not moved in more than 20 years, not even an iota. Just last year, the number of women who are killed in armed conflict quite literally doubled. The context of climate and conflict and crises has created the conditions for incredible challenges in the lives of women and girls right across the world.
You know, there's a lot happening in the world of technology with artificial intelligence and this digital divide. How are you helping provide access to girls and women who are in some of these countries to keep up with what's happening that's transforming our landscape?
The gender digital divide is of utmost importance to UN Women's priorities because unlocking that gender digital divide can actually unlock economic dividends and a digital transformation that fundamentally can change the lives of women and girls. We do see, however, that particularly in the context of conflict, of crisis, where poverty is overlaid in women and girls' daily lives, their access to things like a handset, to the internet, lag far beyond men and boys. And this has so many implications. It means that they don't have a digital bank account. It means that they don't have necessarily the same access to STEM education. We do know that while technology creates so many opportunities, it also comes with incredible challenges and risks. And we see this every day in the ways in which women and girls are increasingly vulnerable to online violence, sexual abuse, and harassment. Right now, the latest data tells us that 90 to 95% of all of the deep fake images online are actually capitalizing on women.
There are so many young women and girls here in New York. What are you hearing from them?
They're saying a few things to us. Number one, they're saying we are here and we need a legitimate space at the table, whether that's at the peacemaking table, the decision-making table, but also especially at the table where resources are defined and resources are decided. They're also telling us that their voices not only matter, but they can't be tokenistic. We need to lean in and curate those spaces to ensure that women and girls are at the heart of everything that the world does in order to advance changes for the better of everyone.
Sarah Hendriks, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Elaine. It's really been a pleasure.